Hello everyone, welcome to United States Weather Center forecaster Matthew Benz. Today we're going to be looking at November and December temperature outlook. Basically it's telling you guys what I see for November and December temperature wise, and let's just get right into it. So first thing I want to talk about again is the warmth. The first part November, there is some ridging that I'm kind of keeping an eye to right now across much of the central and eastern United States. Again, this would actually support what I'm seeing the first part of November with basically it's the ridge. It doesn't really want to move. It's not going to be widespread warmth, not going to be a record-breaking warmth. But again, this is just an area to keep an eye on is the ridge in the east and the central United States just for right now. Again, I think this is probably going to last probably till the 15th of November. But again, there is warmth in this forecast, and that shows itself in GFS. It has a warm ridge in the eastern United States, and again, still by the 12th. But I do think this is going to change. Don't worry. I think cold is coming, but we're going to have to get through this ridge first. And this is really what took shape in my November outlook was this ridge. It really didn't want to move at all. So again, there's your ridge and your warmth the first part of November. Okay, cold coming in the second half of November. Here is basically just the outline of this. November 15th, turning colder, precip would be light, no big storm. Basically, this is going to be your pattern changer probably by the 15th, where your pattern gets colder. And I see it getting colder, and not really the coldest weather just yet. It's going to be more fall-like, but again, you still have your ridge in the eastern United States. Central United States, again, that's what I'm forecasting for. I'm forecasting for the whole United States, but I'm mainly focused on central. But again, there is your ridge and your cold across the central, but there's still, there you go, there's still a ridge in the eastern United States and the southern United States. And then it's going to be interesting because heading into November, heading into Thanksgiving, it was colder. No signs of big storms, no big winter storms for now, but it looks to turn very cold across much of the United States by Thanksgiving, but there is still a risk of a ridge in the eastern United States. Sorry for you guys who want cold for Thanksgiving, but from my idea, I see cold for the central United States and the western United States for cold on Thanksgiving. In the United States, I do still think that you are going to have a ridge, but again, this is your arrows, this is your jet stream. So there's still possibility that the ridge could pump up some warmth in the northeast, so I have to keep an eye on that in the eastern United States. So here's the reason for the warmth to begin November. Basically, AO is positive. NAO is positive. I'm starting to go kind of neutral, but this is why it's warm. There's no high latitude blocking. NAO again supports a ridge in Greenland, and AO supports another ridge basically around the northeastern United States. But with no ridging there, no high latitude blocking, that really doesn't help the cold situation in the United States. Again, there's your warmth, your supportive warmth across most of the United States through at least the 15th. Again, the 15th is my pattern changer day, where the pattern changes and it goes into a different way of cold probably. But that's the reason you got your NAO and NAO. They're both positive. But again, why it turns colder? Again, here you go. I mean, around the 13th, around the 15th, it really bottoms out. AO goes back to being negative, and this would help support cold. NAO goes back negative around the 15th, and it stays negative. This is the GEFS ensemble. Basically all the GFS models put together, and it tells me that, yeah, look, there is your potential for the NAO to go back negative, and EPO also is staying in the negative. It might go a little bit neutral, but it stays in negative. So that'll tell me ridge in the west. High latitude blocking in Greenland tells me there's cold potential, but there's still a southeast ridge that could force some more warmth across the northeastern United States. But I am looking at cold for the central and western United States. So without that being said, this is your November and December outlooks. Again, my forecast confidence in November is getting higher. Not as high as it would be. December, again, I didn't really talk about December in today's video, but hopefully the next one we'll talk about the snow potential, the cold outlooks to set in, and who thinks can get the most snow in December. But let's look at the November outlook first. And what my forecast tells me is above normal across much of the northeast, eastern, southern United States, with a below normal pocket here across the northern and western United States. I had equal chances in Kansas here because of the warm potential between the 14 to 15 that could offset the cold and give it more of a warmth look. The reason I did equal chances is because I still don't have a lot of confidence in the central. I do think there's warm risks in the eastern United States. The question is, will that go up to the central United States, or will the cold decide to come back in? And there is a pretty tight temperature gradient. I know I said there wasn't be any big storms. There could be one big storm we have to watch, because if the temperature gradient is so packed together, that would help you bring a lot of precip storms and probably a lot of better storms here. But that's for another video. But November outlook shows cold across northern and western United States, and shows warmth across much of the eastern and southern United States, with equal chances of seeing cold and warmth. But I do think cold will extend down to down into Kansas. Here is your December out, and again the forecast confidence is 60%. So my confidence is going higher on this, but it's still just a little bit down. December outlook. Still warmth across the southern United States. I know this outlook isn't very good, but still warmth across the southern United States, with your cold centered across the central and western United States. Again, this doesn't really change. Areas that don't see anything, this is where you're gonna have potential. The northeast is kind of a big player in here, because for me it looks like it could be cold, but also looks like it could be warm up here. But for me, it looks like the cold stays down and stays up here in the central and eastern United States, while the warmth is down in the south. Take this forecast with a grain of salt, but for me, the warmth is down south, the cold is up north. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this long range update. I won't be doing an update this Saturday. I'll be gone, but hopefully I'll try to get a video updated to you guys by next week. Again, next video we'll be talking about December. Next week we're actually talking about Thanksgiving through Christmas, the period that I think has a lot of snow potential and who could see the most snow. I hope you guys will come back and see that. But again, thanks for watching this long range video. This is your forecaster, Matthew Benz, and have a great day.